Alright, first step, you recover the gas. Take the gas out of the system. Second step, mount your transformer. 50 VA. Then you come over here. You remove your Robert Shaw piston. Comes over here. All right. Take that off. Loosen up these set screws right here. Step 3. Once the system's empty, put a T on there. Take off the existing capillary off the Robert Shaw piston. Remove these set screws. Screw right here. Take the whole Robert Shaw piston off. Step 4. Mount your pressure transducer on the T. Step 5. Mount your Belimo actuator where the existing Robert Shaw piston was. Step 6. Mount the T775 wherever you're going to put it. Step 7. Run your low voltage wire that's going to your transformer through your panel, up, over, and down to your T77, which is gonna go right there. And then this gray wire is from your transducer. Transducer goes right there, goes up, and joins the wire over here. Last, take your Belimo wire, poke it right through the hole, and you're almost done. All right, so basically you got your 24 volts right here from that transformer you installed, going through there, right through here, lands in here, right? Transducer goes from here, up in here, right there. Belimo, right there, goes through here, all right? Before you make your final connections, you need to adjust this. This comes like this, straight. And you see how your damper's like this? It's only gonna go, it's only gonna like turn like at a 45. You need it to turn a full 90. So you gotta press this and move the gear so that you can get a full stroke. You follow what I'm saying? So basically your damper is closed and it opens counterclockwise. So that's why if I put this in a closed position right now, 100% closed, I turn the gear like this so that when it opens, it swings the damper open. You copy? That's why I did it like that. If not, I would do it the other way. I lock these two set screws, I lock them, and then do the terminations, and I'm ready to go. Okay, so your terminations are as follows. I put two little pigtails, common and hot, right here. I don't like to put all these wires inside there, so I just make little like pigtails, right? So this is common. Black is common. It's gonna pick up the common from the 24 volts, and it's also gonna pick up this common back here, which goes up to the Belimo. All right, black. And then the red, which is this one, it's gonna pick up the transformer, and it's also gonna power up my Belimo. So that's the 24 volts to the Belimo. Copy? 24 hot, 24 common. This black wire, which is coming from the common side, is gonna be my modulation signal to the damper. Okay? Through the white wire. The white wire goes up into the Belimo and goes up. And then these three wires you see back here, black, white, and red, that's coming off the gray wire, which is the sensor. Okay? So the sensor talks here, sensor A. This is the modulation of the Belimo, and then this is the 24 volts. I have the wiring diagram if you need it. All right, you hold the menu button for a couple seconds. You're gonna get set up. You're gonna go to sensors. You're gonna hit the right arrow and write number of sensors. 1. sensor A. Type, it's going to be 0 to 10 VDC. That's your transducer coming in. And then set up degrees Fahrenheit. You want PSI, right? And then minimum value is going to be 0 PSI. And the maximum value is going to be 500 PSI. That's what the transducer is, 0 to 500 PSI. Alright, so 0 to 500. Min 0, max 500. Calibrate, you could leave that 0. Label, you could call it whatever you want. We can call this discharge, because it's discharge pressure, right? Okay. And then exit. That's it. Exit. This is basically the enter button. This is back, up, and down, obviously. Or you could just hit home and go all the way back. So from there, you did your sensors. You can go back to exit. Now your output. After sensors, you got to set up your outputs, which is from this to the Belimo. So you go to mod 1 and you go type. The type is also 0 to 10. Enter. And you're going to see your damper just closed. It was open a little while ago. You're going to see it close. Okay. So basically, output from here to the Belimo is 0 to 10. The minimum output percentage, you could leave that at 0. Integral, 400 seconds. You could play with that later on. What that means is that it's going to take 400 seconds for it to modulate up and down. The relative, you can leave that at 0. If you got to play with it, you can put it at 30, 60, or 90. That's also intervals. Hide, nothing. You never want to hide it. You always want to leave it no. Okay, hide means that it'll hide the setting that's on the screen. You don't want that. And then that's it. That's pretty much the setup. Okay, and then you go back to exit. And then mod 2, you don't have a mod 2. You don't need relays, you don't need options, relays, you don't need any of that. So it's just sensor A, obviously one sensor. So you're gonna set up sensor A again. Okay, so basically to cover everything, you hold menu until you get to setup. You go to sensors, number of sensors, 1. You go back, you go down to sensor A, type 0 to 10 VDC. Back, you go units, you want PSI. Back, 0 PSI, max 500 PSI. Calibrate, you can leave it. Label, you can leave it. You can go to exit. Then you go exit. Then you go to outputs. Outputs again is only mod 1. Mod 1 is the Belimo. So you go type 0 to 10 modulation. Back, you can leave that. You can leave all this unless you have to play with it. But for the most part, you can leave it. So when you hit home, 133 PSI, that's the pressure that the transducer is reading from the line. So that's the refrigeration pressure, 133. Now, if you go to home, if you hit menu one time, if you hit menu and then you go to program, enter, mod 1, which is the Belimo, you want to set the set point at, you don't want it at 20 PSI. You want to maintain a head pressure of equivalent to like a 75 degree day. 75 plus 30 is 105. 105 converted over to PSI is about 245, 250 head pressure. As I make any changes, you notice the Belimo is going to move. So I want to maintain 250 on the head. Okay, that's a great pressure for R22. 250 with a throttle range of 50. So that means that it's going to maintain between 200 to 250. Okay? All right, final step. Basically, you got 133 PSI. If you look up, you see how the Belimo is showing open. It shouldn't be open because you're trying to maintain 250 on the head. So right now, your damper should be fully closed. So how you get it to close is like this. menu, program, mod 1. We said the set point was 250 with a 50 differential. And you go to action. It's either heat or cool. You can put it for heat or cool. Right now it's in heat. Watch what happens when I put it in cool. See how it closes the damper? And come back down here. Now if you go there, now I'm at 133 and the damper is fully closed. See? Fully closed. That means it's doing the right thing. So you got to check between heat and cool. You got to see which one works for you. Usually it's cool.